What's going on, everyone? So it's been a minute since I posted a video. I know I have some things that I need to address, but today we're working on the Red Ranger because I already did this repair once. You can see I put plates here for the rust that's in the front of the bed because this is rusty here from an accident that the previous owner had, but the rest of the bed is fairly solid. I did mess up the tailgate from a few hundred pounds of rocks, but I did an oopsie back in December and I ran off the road and went like 200 feet into a field and jumped this thing through a ditch. Rest of the truck's fine, but it broke the rust that was here even worse, to the point where this was, I mean, it was really rusty as it was. This is all that was pretty much left. So I cut this off. This is where the bolt was. This bolt snapped, and this is the plate or the mount that goes underneath to support the front of the bed. Otherwise the bed just kind of does this. And because I run a toolbox here, I put extra weight on the rails. So what we're planning to do here with basically crap that I have around the house, because this was already with metal I had around the house, that side's holding pretty okay for now. I'm gonna have to probably address it later on. But this side, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just find some stock iron, like flat iron that I might have, to go from here to here, drill a hole in it, and then just put a new bolt through with the nut and just bolt it down to help support it. So that's what we're gonna do with that. Or we're gonna do iron, angle iron from here to here, and then space or something. Whatever it is, we're gonna do something so it's not flimsy. But for now, I gotta punch this out, this bottom bracket. Look at that, I cut myself on some rusty metal. So I already broke a little bit of here, so we're going to go get pliers, wiggle this so we can get that off, get that old broken bolt out. This way we'll have the hole, and then we're gonna scavenge for a bolt and a nut. I should have one long enough and some angle iron, and I'll be right back with that. All right, so I was able to find like 1.5 inch by like 1/8 inch bar that I cut up to fit just barely underneath here and here, set the bed on it, and then welded this, or cut these pieces to weld them to the bar and weld them to the plates that I already have here. And I would say it's holding pretty well. Initially I was thinking of doing this, so I was going to put an piece of angle iron here, but I like this better because it kind of sits more flush, because I do have a bed mat that's going to lay over it, so I'm not too worried about it. Plus it'll help drain the bed so nothing else sits there and rusts. I know my welds look like boogers, but they're holding, and honestly my welder is getting very old and worn out, so maybe at some point I will upgrade and get a nicer welder and not a Harbor Freight one. But it works for now and keeps working. So I'm going to hit this with the coat of paint, but otherwise I'm happy with it. It's going to hold. This is the bolt that I found. Drops down. I just got to put the nut and some washers down there because I think the bolt's a little bit too long, but I didn't want to pay for a bolt. Again, this was just all stuff I had laying around to fix the bed of the truck. But yeah, that's how I repaired it. Eventually I'm going to have to do the same thing on that side, but this should hold for having a toolbox on the bed and also normal driving and not going off the road at like 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour and jumping it through a ditch. It might even hold for that, who knows. But yeah, okay, now I'll show you the finished product. Alright, so as you can see, it's bolted down now. I end up going from the bottom up because it was kind of hard to reach my hand in between the fuel tank and the frame rail there. Yes, I was welding right above the fuel tank. As you can see, I take risks sometimes. It's whatever. It's fine. But I might try and weld underneath here the bracket or the spacer for the bed down to from the spacer to the bed to the frame rail, because it's normally welded to the bed itself. So I might try and weld it from underneath, throw a couple tacks on it, so if it does ever come loose or something. Or I'll go find another nut and throw a second nut on this. So Actually, I might go find a locking washer. That's for another day. But it's done. Doesn't really move. Body lines are lined up again. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this helps somebody who's trying to repair their Ranger for cheap, because honestly, the cost of these trucks, even though they're going up in value for whatever reason, I mean, they are awesome little trucks. So, but that's it for this one. I will catch you guys later.